Roosters make their exit week 1 of the playoffs. And what a week it has been for the captain of the St George Illawarra Dragons, Trent Barrett. Such a controversial past 5 days for this young man, who now, with a C next to his name, only his 3rd or 4th match as captain of the St George Illawarra side. He's got a change at number 7 inside of him tonight. Willie Peters will start as halfback, the number 20. Hasn't played first grade since round 20 against the Cowboys. In fact, only 1 game in the top grade in the past 10 weeks. Good crowd here at the Showground, almost capacity. As now the Bulldogs prepare to make their entry. The side that finished 2nd this year. And they are led out by Darren Brett, who during the past 7 days was named the Bulldogs Player of the Year. In his final season for the Bulldogs, a waltz more or less through the banner. He missed last Friday week, freshened up for the finals. He looms as a key player tonight. So it is 2nd against 7th. Let's have a look at the lineups, Paul Vaughton.
Yes, and the Bulldogs, who let the Dogs out? Well, they're out there right now. Luke Patton's the fullback. El Masri and Martini on the wings. Bungana and Talau on the centres. Braith and Asta, great season for him so far. He's the 5'8". Tricky Trindle's a halfback. Darren Smith locked forward. Reardon and Feeney comes off the bench. He gets a start in the number 14 in the 2nd row. Britton Price at the props. Corey Hughes is the hooker. Interchange of Willie Mason, Glenn Hughes, Brent Sherwin, Paul Rahihi, coached by Stephen Folks.
And some important changes for the Dragons. Roberts, Blacklock, Cooper, Gasnier, McGregor, Barrett. Now, Willie Peters will play halfback. I can tell you his form has been outstanding in First Division. Can he bring it to the big show tonight? We understand Hooper will play lock. Tracy, Hart, Lightfall and Riles. Bartram returns to hooker. On the bench, Riddell, Bailey, Fitzgerald, Ward, coached by Andrew Farron.
And sideline tonight, former Dragons captain Mark Coyne. Good evening.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. It's been a great Sydney day today, and tonight's no different. It's a pretty fast-looking track, which will give us plenty of entertainment, as both of these teams have plenty of attacking players. A bit of inside marbup from the Dragons. It was regardless of whether Trent Barrett was playing or not tonight, Willie Peters was always going to play halfback, as they believe he gives quicker service to the outside backs. Atmosphere down here is buzzing. The temperature is 15 degrees. There's no real wind to talk about. Back to you.
And as was the case last Friday week, Paul Simpkins again the referee. So these sides meet 8 days apart. Bulldogs emerged as 2-point winners last Friday week. There's a little more at stake tonight, though, the 3rd qualifying final. And Lightfall has the first hit up for the Dragons. In fact, it's the 3rd time these clubs have clashed this year. They clashed in a pretty willing trial way back in February, which was to be the last match for Nathan Brown. It is 2-1 in the 3 battles this year. As far as the Premiership is concerned, round 13, a big win to the Dragons here. And of course, that 2-point win last Friday week. And the Dragons already, first set of 6, back to the 40-metre line. Willie Peters has dashed into dummy half there. Now young Riles, 20 hit-ups last Friday week. Has been the real enforcer for the Dragons pack. No Craig Smith, of course. And now Peters with a little dart on the fringe and is tackled on the last in a changeover. So the Bulldogs straight away into attack, and the Dragons caught offside. So it's a double blunder from the Dragons.
It certainly is, Bossy. That's a bad mistake from Willie Peters on his first play of the game. He was brought into this team not only for his passing, but his ability to kick on the last tackle, take some pressure off Trent Barrett. He saw a little gap up the middle, took it, didn't get the kick away on tackle 5. The ensuing penalty sees the Bulldogs with a great opportunity early in the game.
They're only 30 metres away from the line. Trindle in possession. Trindle and Anasta, their first taste of finals football tonight. Only 25 metres away. Britt was the man who played it for Stephen Price. Rousing form late in the season. Look at Price almost get to the try line. Big charge from the Queensland front rower. And now Trindle's pass is intercepted. And a real let-off for St George Illawarra.
Yeah, great run there by Stephen Price, wasn't it? Got through some very inept Dragons defence early in this game. In that position, you've really got to make these tackles count. It's Jason Riles who was brushed off easily, but then from dummy half, Trindle made a mistake. He just got a little bit greedy, went on his own, tried to get away a silly pass, and the Dragons now rucking it out 30 metres out from their own line.
And it is Lightfall who almost gets them to the 40-metre line. Bartram out of dummy half. And now the Dragons try and put a bit of their attack on with Tracy to halfway. Plants it down for Peters now. Effort Barrett to get inside the Bulldogs 40. It is the last tackle again. The Dragons eventually get a kick in. And Martini is having to dash across. Another player who missed last Friday week. He comes almost to the 20-metre line. Wayne Bartram receiving attention back near halfway for the Dragons. He's okay. He's rushing back to the line, but he's got a problem left side of his face. And the Bulldogs also with an injury problem of their own. I think it is Trindle who is wandering back at the opposite end of the field. And now Britt for the Dogs. And this is good defence from the Dragons. Keeping the Dogs pinned inside their 30. For Smith and for Vangana. 3 tries last week and man of the match. The Bulldogs get a kick in. Roberts has been in his best form of the season over the past month. Possession to the 30-metre line. So Dragons win tonight. Roosters make their exit. Of course, if the Bulldogs win, they will have next weekend off. And then we'll be only 1 match away from a grand final appearance. At the end of 26 rounds, it was the Bulldogs second with 37 points and the Dragons 7th, 26 points. The Dragons losing their last 2 going into the playoffs. Barrett gets into dummy half. Picks up the tempo, the captain. Now McGregor. Nice ball away. And Cooper has taken over the sideline. Talau did the damage there. It'll be a Bulldog scrum feed.
Yeah, Paul McGregor special here, in and away off the right foot, gets to Lau, gets the winger Martini interested, creates space for Cooper, who really got flat-footed. He never hit the ball with any speed whatsoever. Talau was able to release himself from McGregor, come across in cover and bundle him into touch. Good play by McGregor, good defence by Talau.
Exactly. Trindle still not 100%. And speaking of Paul McGregor, if the Dragons were to lose tonight, his last match in the NRL, also the last game it would be for Wayne Bartram and also for Colin Ward, who comes off the bench tonight. And incidentally, all 3 of those players made their debuts back in '91.
Go down, Darren, bind in.
Jamie Ainsker, who misses tonight, is hoping that they stay alive, so he'll get another shot in the NRL. He's off to Wigan next year. So the Bulldogs from that scrum outside their 30. And Darren Smith has been busy early. 82 years of age, another finals campaign. Hit hard in the tackle of Tracy. Hughes back in field with Brett. And those typical lumbering runs forward. 5 metres inside their own half. Hughes for Trindle, working to the left, and Feeney now has possession. Mason coming off the bench tonight. Trindle, nice offload from Feeney. And then Talau. All-in-all tackle there from McGregor. Good battle developing both sides of the field in the centres as Price takes a straight charge inside the Dragons 40. And that is tackle number 5 for the Dogs. Hughes dashing on a dummy half. His kick looking for that corner. No real pressure there on Roberts. But the pressure comes in the chase. And who kicked the ball, Hughes. And the Dragons now with Cooper. He's only playing his 4th game in first grade for the year. The dummy half goes Gaznia as a penalty goes the way of the Dragons. It's a nice little piggyback inside their 20.
Now, I thought that was going to be for the 10 metres, but he in fact has got them infringing at the play the ball, not square the markers. Gaznia getting out from dummy half. Markers standing alongside each other rather than behind each other. Taking a little attitude there, and Paul Skipton's picked them up.
So the Dragons on the restart. Riles was the decoy, and Lightfall ends up with it. Really thundering onto the ball. Hughes went low. Price high as now Peters on the left with Riles. Just inside their own half. The Dragons, who had a mountain of possession early last week against the Dogs, didn't capitalise, and now a turnover. Another possession for the Bulldogs inside the Dragons' half. As they work left with a teenager Anasta for Talau. 21 metres away, Anasta at a dummy half. Bulldogs Rookie of the Year. And Dogs starting to get warm in this contest. 100 metres from the line, Anasta has a little look to the left. They work to the right with Trindle. Keeps it going for Smith. The inside runner is Reardon. Able to offload on the Dragons' 10-metre line. Patton's a dummy half. A former St George Illawarra Dragon. Trindle's pass and intercept. In fact, El Masri has pulled it back in. That was a close call both ways with Blacklock and El Masri. Reardon takes the hit up. And 9 metres away from the line. El-Masri, a little gallop out of dummy half and keeps it alive. The Dogs with Brent. And the pressure is on St George Illawarra. Defending their own line, and Asta didn't get the best of passes. And then over his head, lovely pick up from Patton. 10 metres out from the line, then for Trindle. They're looking to dazzle. Trindle has lost the ball and the Dragons come up with it.
Yes, a pretty exciting play there by both sides, really. The Blacklock intercept, and he would have been away, except that he was nabbed. And then a one-on-one steal saved the day there for the Bulldogs. Dragons now rocking it out, doing it tough. And here it is. I'm pretty sure Blacklock intercepts it. He does. Then El-Masri just pinches it off him, which is allowable under the rules.
And what a battle on that wing too. Nathan Blacklock, 25 tries. El-Masri, 18 tries. Another hit up to the 30-metre line for the Dragons. They've got a couple of front rowers on the bench tonight, Bailey and Ward. And now the Bulldogs muscle up as Darren Tracy's seen better times. He's a bit groggy now. Dragons on the last tackle. It's beginning to be a bit of a disaster, this. Roberts was the third choice kicker that time. And he's done a pretty good job, Amos Roberts. Martini goes back almost to his 10-metre line, confronted by half a dozen Dragons defenders.
Well, the only two tackle five where they've got away a kick has come from non-kickers, and both Barrett and Willie Peters have been caught twice now on the fifth tackle. They've got to get that sorted out.
Just outside their 30, Smith. And then Anasta stepping, and there's back slam there. Andrew Hart comes up. Makes the tackle count. And Britt, right side. Just inside the Dragons half now. Darren Smith. And then offloading back on the turnaround there with Reardon. Dogs have made their first interchange. It's unscheduled one with Trindle off to the bench. And Asta kicks high. Roberts is under it. Dashing across field. Good communication there with Blacklock and Roberts. And they diffuse the situation.
Just looking at some of these Dragons forwards, they're starting to feel the pinch, walking back, hands on hips, hands on head. They finally got back on side. It's tackle 3 coming up already. The pace of this game has been a cracker.
Steve Fake said last week after the win, this is our time of year. This is where the Bulldogs come to the fore, the tough football in finals. They're showing it again tonight as Whiteball, another hit up, but again contained by the defence. Barrett will get a kick away this time, and it's from inside the 40. A chase here for Patton. Quite nicely there for the Bulldogs fullback.
Intelligent play there by Barrett. He knew that the tackle 5s have been mucked up the last few, so on tackle 4, he got a kick away without the pressure. Finally, a good kick and chase from his team.
3 for Hughes and then for Talau. Good metres for the Bulldogs, almost back to halfway from the centre. Price follows up. He's got to be a show for the Kangaroo Tour, Stephen Price, in the form he has shown over the last 6 or 7 weeks. Now Jamie Feeney didn't play Origin this year, Steve Price. Dogs are 35 metres away from the St George Illawarra line. Last tackle, and Asta got the ball and then found himself with Darren Britt right in front of him. He had to put a step on. He has found the line with a kick.
Yeah, that's the class of both. And Asta copped a little one from Andrew Hart after he kicked it. He'll look up to see in a minute to see the ball's gone out about 3 feet in front of the corner post.
Sherwin will be the halfback at this scrum. Although Hughes did play a little bit of first receiver on that previous set. We'll get a report from Mark Coyne shortly on Darryl Trindle.
Lock in. Go in.
He's been walking around in front of the bench. Obviously a little dazed, perhaps, Darryl Trindle. As the Dragons from the scrum win, and Hooper, he's back at his favoured position of lock. He can fill in anywhere, but lock is his #1 spot. And he's there tonight. Mark plays it on the 30-metre line, the Dragons. Bartram in a dummy half, second tackle there from Reardon. Simpkins ruled that Riles was playing for it and no penalty. That was knocked down, and I thought, played at. Simpkins doesn't restart the tackle count. So Dragons with the ball 5 metres inside their own half. Bartram offloading from dummy half for Roberts. Now Roberts does a little bit of dancing, doesn't get the best of passes away, and Blacklock keeps it in from the sideline. too sure Andrew Farrer's all that excited about the way his side is playing. He'd be happy, though, it is still 0-all as the kick goes downfield. Martini fields it inside his own 20, and back he comes. And we will take a comment. Mark Coyne, what's the story with Daryl Trindle?
Just a word on Tricky Trindle. He caught one in the ribs in one of those tackles that he's made. He's just having a bit of a rest at the moment, but he will be back along later in the match.
That's good news. We're now 5 short of halfway. And there is a penalty to the Dogs. Nathan Blacklock a shake of the head.
Well, the Dragons are just falling on their own sword at the moment. Totally disorganised in attack. Their fifth tackle options have been poor. Now another penalty to piggyback the Bulldogs out of their own half and back down on the attack. The combination of Peters and Barrett at the moment is having some teething problems. They need to get that sorted out quickly.
Well, Gus, it was round 20 when Peters last played first grade, and before that he suffered a shoulder injury round 16 against Melbourne. So it's a renewed partnership, but it has been a while. Reed, a nice offload there for Feeney. There are some real danger signs here for the Dragons. The Dogs with an Asta. Passes out for Talau. Stands in the tackle of McGregor, can't offload. Matthews back in field with an Asta. Just 19 in his first finals campaign. The Dogs, here comes a try, is it? Reedon, I reckon he may have forced it. We'll go off to the video referee. But Reedon reckons he has scored.
Well, they've had all the running. They've played the better football in the opening 15 minutes, the Bulldogs, no doubt about that. And, well, I think the boys are undecided. I'm not sure Steve Reedon thinks he has scored a try. It's a good little bust made by him, good backup. Amos Roberts has got him. Does he get it now? I think he's dropped it. I think he might have dropped this under the sticks. Referee Simpkins was right there, and he decided to go for the video referee, trying to force it with one hand. No, that's no try.
Well, he hasn't been stripped by the Dragons. This angle looks more definite that he's dropped the ball. He'll try to get it down past the knees of the defending player, Roberts, and the ball appears to come loose without any downward pressure. I do believe there's a moment where the hand has come away from the ball. This angle, again, past the knee with the outstretched left hand. And that's an optical illusion. He's lost the ball there, that's for sure.
And lost in goal would mean a 20-metre restart. Steve Reedon doesn't get too many tries. He is one of the veterans. Recently re-signed for another year. I don't think he's going to get a 4-pointer here.
It was a shame, Vossi, because it was beautiful football. Great unloading, great hole running. And at the end, tremendous support play from Reedon. Here's the decision.
Well, I'll tell you what, the little ball boy was confident. He went out there in his little three-wheeler. But it is no try. And the Dragons will have the restart from the 20.
Yeah, lovely work from Anasta, who's playing superbly so far this game. And Darren Britt, the skipper. Lovely hole for Brent Sherwin to run into. Then he was going down, popped one up for Reedon, and just couldn't get it down. So unlucky there for the Dogs. You know, the Dragons in possession, 30 metres out from their own line.
Well, it might be the wake-up call the Dragons need. Let off for them, like fall away for Barrett. Feeney came up quickly, missed on first attempt, but Price was there to cover. And Peters a dummy half to the blind side with Gaznia. Not much doing there, plenty of defence. Sherwin was front on, and Vangana. Higgins again with Lightfall. His job is simple. Just carry us straight once or twice in every set. Peters for Riles. And again, good defence from Feeney Lowe, who almost got to the 50 mark in tackles last week as Barrett goes high here. Patton is well positioned. Talk about your buys of the year. Patton's been right up there, hasn't missed a game. Someone from the Dragons. And tackled 25 metres out from his own line. And Asta running at Hart. Rugged defence from Andrew Hart, who's bound for the Bunnies next year. One-handed pickup at a dummy half from Hughes. Riles and Bartram make the tackle, but Hughes has made an impressive start tonight. And now with Darren Britt. And Price keeps it alive. Again, this offloading is starting to cause some damage here. Patton on the rebound. Keeps it alive again with an Asta then for Feeney. And Feeney accelerates to the 30-metre line for Talau. Nice turn of speed from Jamie Feeney. 20 metres out, attacking the blind with Smith. Then Anasta drops back off the left foot. A little high one over the top there from Trent Barrett on the way through. It's the last tackle now, and Barrett is penalised. Barrett and Anasta head on.
Yeah, he did cop one too, Braith Anasta, because he checked himself. He was looking to pass the ball, then that Trent Barrett came out over the top. There was a collision. Anasta went down. And Darren Britt has called for Hazem El Masri to come and have a shot at goal. Good break by Feeney, who's been running very strongly tonight and the last 4 or 5 weeks. Had a great season. Nice offload to Lau. So it was a good bus, mate, and they're all over the Dragons, the Bulldogs. They're playing better football. They're running harder and straighter, running better angles. It's just Trent Barrett just laying on too long.
It's interesting, Bulldogs going for goal. There's been plenty of matches this year that in this situation, a kick from 10 metres in from touch, they would take the tap or look to find the line and maintain the rage, the attacking rage on the defence.
Yeah, it's finals times, Vossi, I guess, and every 2 points counts. I personally, from this wide angle, you're probably only about a 60% success rate, even with your best kickers. They had them under the pump, plenty of pressure on them. They're playing good football. But sometimes first blood in a semi-final is very, very important.
As El Masri lines up this kick, he's only 16 points away from equaling Darryl Halligan's club record for a season of 270 points. As we told you last week, he's only 1 try away from equaling Chris Anderson's club record of 19 tries in a season. That was back in 1983, so he could have the double this year, which would be quite a feather in the cap of Hazem El Masri. From 21 metres out and 10 metres in from the touchline, El Masri spot on with his first kick. The third preliminary final we will break with the Dogs in front by 2 points to 0. And Dogs get the first points, leading on the back of the Hazem El Masri goal as Price brings it back from his own in goal.
These two teams played 7 days ago, and it was a totally different game then. On that occasion, the Dragons had all the possession, all the field position, and couldn't get across the line. Tonight, it's the Dogs that have dominated territory and possession. And I guess that is why they thought they couldn't come away empty. They went for the goal. El Masri slotted it between the posts. A different sort of game to what we saw last week.
And that highlighted by some of the defensive stats for the Dragons. Hooper and Hart double-figure counts early as Anasta gets a kick in. That was from inside the 40, finds touch 28 metres away from the Dragons line. He also copped a challenge as he kicked, and I think Anasta thought it was a touch late.
It's a big wind-up by both ears. He's going for a 40-20. Went off the side of the boot. He hooked it. And Hooper came in late.
It's not a fluent kicking style, Braith Anasta, is it? The ball doesn't seem to come off his boot sweetly. He gets plenty of distance, though. Seems to have a lot of spin. Hooks a little bit. He's very effective.
Bailey and Riddell about to come into the action. Bartram and Lightbowl to the bench for the Dragons. They have possession. 35 out from their line and a penalty. Bulldogs inside the 10. And Barrett, he took a few steps over the mark. We'll let that go by the by. And now the Dragons 30 metres away from the Bulldogs line. So their first real chance inside the attacking zone. Lyles lifted the knee a little as he took on the line there, 25 metres away. And they work to centre field. And Hart has been getting through a lot of defence. Bailey's with the ball 15 metres out. Peters a dummy half, 10 away from the Bulldogs line. Passes there. Very flat ball to Hooper, kept alive by Riddell. Over the top with Gazdia. Now the chances with Blacklock. He's only 5 metres from the line. Didn't get one last week, Nathan Blacklock. A try, so he's due tonight. Trent Barrett. Passing there for Hooper. 7 on his back, but playing locked forward. Riddell with a headband on. Wristband. Right knee is bandaged. He's 5 metres away from the line. The stewards will want a vet's report, I think. It comes away for Barrett. Gets the pass for Roberts. Roberts alive for McGregor. Wonderful hands by the Dragons. And Cooper scores in the corner. That is beautiful. There was a touch football about it. 4-2 to St George Illawarra.
Yeah, beautiful football there by the Dragons, just keeping the ball alive. Interchange of passing, fifth tackle, will they run or will they kick? And as we freeze it there, we'll see that a second man play missing. This player gets the ball on the outside. He'll come in, attract some defence this way, and Barrett swooping around will create a 2-on-1 with his winger in the corner to score the try. And as play goes on, little interchange of passing, the ball from Amos Roberts, pops it back to McGregor, ball on the outside to Barrett, 2-on-1, open space for Matt Cooper in the corner.
Yeah, that was a great set of 6 there by the Dragons. For mine, it coincided with the coming onto the field of Mark Riddell. He's actually got out of dummy half a couple of times, given them some options around that area. He's got a bit of speed, he takes the line on, and they've looked a better side in the last 3 or 4 minutes with him on the field. And the experience here of Paul McGregor, as soon as he got the ball, he knew he was going nowhere. He looked around for some support. He found Barrett looping around. And a lovely try there to Matt Cooper. So surprisingly, it's the Dragons in front because the Bulldogs probably have played the better footy.
Well, it's the complete opposite of last week. Last week, the Dragons couldn't get across the line from close range. They had raid after raid after raid. Couldn't get it done. Tonight, their first visit into the Bulldogs quarter. They run it on tackle 5 and find space down the right-hand touch line. Riddell, who's been injected into the action, immediately takes up the goal-kicking duties. The Dragons fans will raise the left arm with him.
He's a cult hero. His first year of first grade. 24 matches. The arm will come up now. It is tremendous theatre. A metre in from the sideline. Mark Riddell off the boot. Looks great. Off the boot. It is perfect. Laser-like kick from Mark Riddell, 6-2, the third qualifying final.
It's wonderful, the emotion of finals football. Thompson knows they've got to keep winning so he can get back on the field and be a part of the action. But everyone who's not playing is down on that bench, cheering the teammates on. After absorbing a lot of defence, Riddell has a chance to slot over his second conversion in the space of a couple of minutes and a 12-2 lead.
Go over. Is what he mounts 2 or 3 times. Same routine every time. And then the arm goes up. About 7,000 or 8,000 arms go up with it, including those in the lounge room at home. Mark Coyne's sideline, how quickly this match has turned.
Yeah, and how good is Amos Roberts going the last couple of weeks? Last week he carved up the Bulldogs through the middle. Tonight he stopped the Feeney try. He's done one of the great passes to put Cooper over in the corner, and then he's got with a great backing up play then to back up Riddell and put the ball underneath the post. He's having a great couple of weeks, Amos Roberts.
And Riddell, this former Rooster, played in their under-20 side last year, setting it up. Sideline conversion, then making the break for the try. And now the restart of play, fumbled by Peters, but knocked back. And the Dragons with Luke Bailey.
Luke Bailey's only been back a couple of weeks, and I've got to say that last week he improved enormously on his first run in First Division. Tonight he looks fitter again.
Dragons 15 out from their line, and Bailey takes a second hit up in this set. As if on cue, backing up. Gus's comment. As Riles passes here for Hart. This is good play by the Dragons with Hooper. Dragons 15 metres inside their own half and back infield. Riles runs at an Astra and bumps him away. And the Dragons on their 40. Speaking of the big blokes, Willie Mason's ready to make his first appearance here. He'll come in with his side really needing impact. Barrett, this was right from the 40. It's what? There's only half a minute both ways. One, the kick from the 40, and one finding touch on the 20. And the touch judge says it has found touch inside the 20, and that is a 40-20 from Trent Barrett.
Oh, it's a game of inches, isn't it? It's a game of inches. The linesman has ruled it came out into touch over the 20. Look at this. It's a game of inches. He's right. He's 100% right. And Trent Barrett's foot was only inches inside the 40 at the other end of the field. It was a kick under pressure.
Okay.
But that was a 39 and 9/10 score.
And the referee did check it with the video referee. Just held it up for a fraction there. Willie Peters feeds the scrum. The Dragons on the attack.
Leading by 12 points to 2. They are only 10 metres from the line, and look at the attack. It is coming in waves, the red and whites. They are on the march. Riddell, dummy half. He opened his year with 2 tries in his debut, both from dummy half against the Sharks. Tracy was a dummy half. Barrett for Roberts, 15 metres away from the line. Hooper, he almost squeezed a pass out there. Tallow over the top. Sherwin was low. Peters for Riles. Then the short pass for Hart. Lovely tackle from Talau. Sliding tackle it was. 5 away from the line. Straight out of dummy half. The Bulldogs' defence is being tested. And that is the 5th tackle. Peters will play it. And a clean ball here. Riddell gives the service for Barrett. His kick. Maybe caught the ricochet, and straight away Anasta goes on the attack. He got away from McGregor. Now Anasta, he does his thing. Back to the 40-metre line, Braith Anasta. Marvellous counter-attack.
Great run by Anasta. Ball kick by Barrett. The ball just bounces for this boy Anasta. He got it, charged upfield, releases the pressure for the Bulldogs.
Play on the call there from the Barrett offload. Obviously passed into the leg of Price. That is the way Simpkins has ruled it. Smith getting on the inside. Mason. Crowd heroes. Here's Sherwin. Quick hands and Asta. Lovely work with Feeney. Channels. Talau on the inside, then wraps around for Martini. Martini then passes over the sideline. He thought he was headed into touch. He had to keep it alive. And the Dragons, they survive a little scare there.
Oh, what a game of football this is. Sparkling play there by the Bulldogs. Martini. Look at all the red and white jerseys here. Desperation. It's finals time. You lose tonight, you leave the country. It's all over. But they're all there trying to force him into the corner. There was a beautiful pass by Braith Anasta in that movement. Absolute fingertip control that created space for Talau on the outside. Geez, a good player, Braith Anasta. Relieves the pressure at one end, creates the opportunities at the other. A real handful for the Dragons tonight.
Well, the Dragons will tell you, as Colin Ward gets ready to come on, that finals football for them started 5 weeks ago. They've played top 8 sides the last 5 weeks. 2 wins, 3 losses coming in to the playoffs. His wins over Newcastle and Brisbane. Big hit over the top there from Rahihi. Ward is on. And Jason Riles is to the bench. He's done his job. And Ward gets his first touch. Another one of those 30-somethings on show tonight in this match. Roberts intercept. You can see it coming, and Vangana snaffled it. 25 metres away. Rahihi was looking to offload on the inside, and now the Bulldogs pick up the tempo. Masri and Asta keeping it alive for Sherwin, then for Mason. Mason is 15 away from the line. Hart had him. An assist from Barrett. Hughes back to the right. Anasta on for Smith. Smith is 10 metres away from the line, and Gasnier and Hooper combined. With Patton and then Rahihi. He did his best work right at the start of the season. It was outstanding through the first 8 or 9 rounds. Vangana, good pass from dummy half, and Asta's kick is taken off the bounce by Roberts. He can do no wrong, Amos Roberts, although there you go, he juggles it on getting up to play the ball.
I think the best play in that set of 6 was actually the intercept. Darren Tracy did really well in that intercept. As you see, the last little kick once again from Anasta. Tracy knew the ball wasn't going to get to him. He took a step back because he knew that Vangana was on the fly and about to get the footy.
Missed a beat. That ball bobbled out of the grasp there of Amos Roberts. Willie Peters. And done half. Good run. Like a little jackrabbit to the 40-metre line and last tackle. Barrett will kick from outside the 40 this time. And kicking it back towards El Masri's route. El Masri surveyed what was in front of him. And Trindle preparing to return here.
There's a high tackle.
This is Jason Hooper.
I don't think, to be honest, there's any malice intended in this. Good right foot step El Masri's got. Collected him round the shoulders. It went up around the neck. But he's not that sort of player, Hooper. On report.
Well, Simpkins takes the easy way out, puts him on report. I don't think there was any doubt about point of contact, and he had a clear view of it.
Yeah, just got wrong-footed here by El Masri, who stepped back sharply off the right foot, threw the arm out. Just tended to bounce up off the ball a little bit there. Caught the ball on its way up, ended up around his neck. No malice intended, but put on report. Hear about it later, got to get on with the game.
Dave Hazem El Masri, a nasty shot. Here's another spirited run from Rahihi. Isn't he fired up? And he lashed out there at Andrew Hart. Not a wise tactic when you've got possession, Fatty.
He threw a nice little short right there from on the deck.
35 metres away. Sherwin back in field with Trindle. And then across with Mason. They've handled him okay so far. Pat to the right, Trindle's back on and kick. He sends Bungana and El-Masri on the chase, but Blacklock was there. And was prepared to take the tackle, Nathan Blacklock. With Gasnier coming off the line. The Dragons leading by 12 points to 2. The Bulldogs had the first scoring opportunity tonight. A disallowed try to Steve Reardon. Cooper back in field with Bailey. Changed his course when he received the ball there. And then tackled by Feeney. Colin Ward. Just outside the 20. The Dragons with Riddell and Barrett. And their kicking game is back in order. It was very tardy early. Patton, the trap with a foot and the one-handed pickup.
Yeah, a little bit of the soccer play there from Luke Patton. And a penalty here against the Dragons for holding down again. What's Luke Patton here? A little bit of the Manchester United there, then turn around nonchalantly. I'll just pick that up with one hand and get on the way.
Going on to the play of the ball.
He whiz.
Hanging on to him, pushing him down. It's going to be penalised, and if it continues, we'll bin him, okay?
I couldn't have done that on a footy field in a million years. Pick the ball up one-handed.
Well, my hands weren't big enough for a start. How can you pick the ball up like that?
In the meantime, the Bulldogs penalty gives them a chance. Coming up to half-time to post their first try. That pass was risky from Sherwin to Mason. 25 metres away. Trindle and then for Rahihi. He's inside the 20. He's going as well as any of the Bulldogs forwards for Rahihi. Trindle keeps it going along there for Anasta. He runs back in field, back for Trindle. It's a combination that has developed so impressively since mid-season. Smith to the right with Sherwin. The kick to El-Masri on the fly. I don't know whether he was onside, but he was at top speed. They will check it with a video referee. It's a set play from the Dogs. But El-Masri was running through like he was shot out of a gun.
I think he was going so quick, the camera may not pick him up. He was absolutely flying. On the slow-motion camera, he'll be a blur. He goes to the line. Sherwin, he will kick now. I think he's onside, Fatty. I think that's line ball. I think that's good enough to declare a try.
Yeah, there's a shandy in it, and he is absolutely... It's almost like he's got a cape on, flying through the air. They looked around, all of a sudden there was a blue and white jumper behind them, the Dragons. A blue and white jumper in the form of Hazam El-Masri, and he's putting the ball down for a try.
Well, he was absolutely flying. I think the back foot of El-Masri here is closer to that 10-metre line that you can see than the back foot of the kicker. And I think that will keep him. He was travelling very, very quickly. It's an optical illusion. It looked as though he was 3 yards offside. But in fact, I think he's about a half a yard onside. And they'll get the green light here, the Bulldogs. Sherwin comes, frees it there. I think you can see that El-Masri's back foot is closer to the line than anything Sherwin has to offer. And for that reason, using that 10-metre line as a guide, I don't believe they can take the try off El-Masri.
When Sherwin's foot hits the ball, El-Masri's foot is actually in the air. Look, for mine, if I was adjudicating to try.
Ian Parnaby, the video referee. Didn't the Dragons players go quickly for the video ref to have a look at it? And El-Masri, it is a try. And he equals the club record of Chris Anderson. 19 tries in a season. And one thinks there's a few more to come for Hazem El-Masri. It is 12-6 here.
And that was
6
well
minutes
done.
out from half-time, Fatty.
Yeah, well constructed, and it's come on the back of a penalty and some strong running by the Bulldogs forwards, especially Paul Rahihi and Willie Mason. And lovely set play, set up beautifully by Sherwin. He provided the kick. El-Masri gets the points.
Well, he gets there so quick, El-Masri. It was a planned move. I mean, he's the right winger. He's 3 passes away from Sherwin. He had no intention other than to run behind the line and pick up the kick when it came out the other side. It was a call, it was a look, it was a nod and a wink between the stand-in halfback and the right winger. and they read it perfectly.
And Gus, we're told, it was benefit of the doubt in the end. Was the final call, given that we don't have a camera directly in line with the 10-metre line to make a decision. Now Masri right in front to get it back to a 4-point ball game. This is finals football, this. Now Masri successful. Dogs and the Dragons. Dragons up by 4. From half-time. Dragons 10-point lead reduced to 4 in this third qualifying final. It is sudden death for the Dragons, and the Bulldogs looking to have next weekend off if they can record a win here. The Dragons making another interchange. Jamie Fitzgerald now out there, so they've used all 4 of their troops off the bench in this first half. And you have to say the previous 3, Riddell, Bailey and Ward, have all played a big part. Keeps it alive. El Masri on the fingertips. Territory. Gasly slow to roll away from him. Trindle alive there for Rahihi, running at Fitzgerald, who went low. He's got 17 on his back. Bulldogs are 40 metres away from the Dragons line. Sherwin, another probing run. And then Trindle with a kick over the top. The Dogs are back on song now. And Asta, the young prince, has scored for the Bulldogs. And just as the Dragons got the double strike, the Bulldogs, they're bitten back. 12 all, kick to come.
Well, I said it only moments ago, the ball just seems to come this young man's way. This play will go down the right-hand side of the field. I don't know where Braithen Astor is. He's way back over here on the left. Interchange of passing. Trindle finds himself in space. Gets into the clear one to beat chip kick. And Anasta, he just backs up in Case, and a Case is good enough. He's through there. The ball bounces for him. And a great try. Another one in the space of a couple of minutes. The Dragons did it. The Bulldogs have replied.
Some very poor defence down the left-hand side by the Dragons. They had the numbers there. It was a very short line, only 5 or 6 metres to work in for the Bulldogs, but somehow they found a way through there. Tricky Trindle, lovely kick. He knew there was someone coming on the inside, and it was in Braithen Astor. He snipped one out, and Astor. And he salutes the big Bulldogs crowd down that end of the field.
Well, of course, the great Terry Lamb played for the Bulldogs. He was recognised as one of the best support players, if not the best support player the game has seen. And that was a perfect example of backing up just in case you needed. There was nothing on down the right-hand side of the field. Braithen Astor was way over on the left. But as soon as play started to work its way down that touchline, Astor moved forward. The play came back to the middle, and the ball bounces for this young man because he's always in position to get the bounce.
And about Darryl Trindle, 11 years after making his first grade debut, playing his first finals match. And some lovely work down the short side. It was a great disruption for the Bulldogs, no doubt, having Trindle forced from the field early. And Masri now kicking from adjacent to the uprights. As he closes in, he's got Anderson's try-scoring record. He closes in on Halligan's point-scoring record. Successful again. And the Bulldogs are back in front. Mark Coyne at 14-12.
Yeah, what a great match this is turning out, Andrew. First 2 quick tries for the Dragons, then 2 quick tries for the Bulldogs. And what about Tricky Trindle? He started the game pretty ordinary. A couple of butchered try opportunities for the Bulldogs, but he's come good on that occasion. Great break, and great kick over the top for Braithen Astor.
And whatever momentum the Dragons had built up at 12 points to 2 has been quashed, and it is all with the Bulldogs. Final 60 seconds of this first half. I think they don't want the halftime siren to go, the Dogs. They want another 5 or 6 minutes. The Dragons are on their heels. Sherwin, he's another player who has played his part in this Bulldogs revival of sorts. Here he is at a dummy half again, Sherwin, for Anasta. All contained that time by Hart. They're 30, the Bulldogs. Sherwin again dummy half for Rahihi. That was knocked down by Barrett. Play on for the Bulldogs. Sherwin, tackle count not restarted. There's only 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Hart was hurt in that challenge for the Dragons. He's a bit ginger going back into the defensive line. And this is the last tackle, and the Bulldogs are happy with their half's work. Sherwin just kicks it over the sideline. And what a ball game this is. The third qualifying final. Sudden death for the Dragons against the second-place Bulldogs. 2-0 early to the Dogs, then 12-2 to the Dragons. And the Dogs post 2 tries in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the half, and they take the advantage to the break. We will break with the Bulldogs leading the Dragons by 14 points to 12. In a position that they've had great success in this year, when they have led matches at half-time through the course of 26 rounds. Phil Gould, they were never beaten this year. They are front runners of the best kind.
And I think the reverse is for the Dragons. A number of times they've been behind at half-time. 11 occasions. They have lost on 10 of those occasions. They've been behind at the break. So a big difference here between the two teams.
As the Dogs return, we'll have a look at some of the statistics out of the first 40 minutes.
And the 2 possession flow will show good and bad for the Bulldogs. The red columns indicate completions, the black columns errors. When they're good, they're good. They've got big high columns here, red completions, and a great finish to the game. This period here, not much ball, some errors here. And when we go to the Dragons sheet, you'll see that that is the periods that the Dragons dominated. Very big period here in the middle of the game where the Dragons controlled the ball very, very well. A poor start, a lot of errors here, 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 and not much football at the back end of the game where the Bulldogs came back into their own.
And the match stats is even a set of match stats as I've seen in a long time. That's why it's 14-12, not much in it at all. The missed tackles, the Bulldogs probably missing just a fraction too many tackles, but their scrambling defence has been good. And just on those stats, Hooper for the Dragons, 18 tackles, and for the Bulldogs, Stephen Price, a big game, 15 tackles, 11 hit-ups, going very well.
Qualifying final. The second was a blowout. Newcastle big winners over the Roosters, and the Roosters watching and listening to this game in a most nervous state, I would think. If the Dragons emerge as winners, the Roosters season is over. Bulldogs first possession of the second half. Stephen Price inside the 20. Dogs conceded the first 2 tries tonight, and 30 to the 30-metre line. A couple of close calls for the video referee tonight as well. Price gets his second hit up, offloading there for Sherwin. Some nice footwork away from Fitzgerald, kept it alive for Feeney. And now Feeney upended by McGregor. And he was passing in the same motion, and it has turned it over for Cooper. So the Dragons go on the attack in the very first set of 6 in this second half. Riddell, that was a forward ball to Hart. My word, talk about squander an opportunity there, St George Illawarra.
And Andrew Hart was being a decoy runner here. He wanted the ball to go behind him. Riddell threw the ball straight at him. 1.5 yards forward. Poor concentration by both players early in this second stanza. Decoy runner's got to keep himself in a position to get the ball. The dummy half has got to hear the call. It wasn't meant for Andrew Hart.
In, Darryl, lock in.
I mentioned Stephen Price leading the hit-ups for the Dogs. Jason Riles topped that count for the Dragons in the first half with 9. As replaced before half-time. And again, Steve Price, another hit-up, running straight at Gasnier and Bailey there. He suffered a rib injury last week. Was replaced in the first half against the Dragons. That last tackle revealed a bit of bandaging around that rib cage. Here is Trindle. Passes for Rahihi. He's lost the ball on the tackle. Now Simpkins had already called held. And the Bulldogs make their second error of the second half. It is most unlikely.
Yeah, poor incompletions. Good tackle there from Trent Barrett. The ball comes loose. Touches a St George Illawarra player straight away. That constitutes a technical knock-on. He's had a pretty good hand today, Rahihi. Not very happy with that start. But a nervous start from both sides, so this second stands a lot at stake here.
Lamouta on the bench. Fractured sternum last week. A retiring player. The Dragons are 45 metres away from the Bulldogs line. We'll hear from Mark Coyne shortly. As far as the half-time report is concerned from the 2 coaches. Strong run there from Bailey. Dragons have got themselves into the zone here. Riddell and Peters. Second man play for Ward, who was spinning. Spins his way to the 30-metre line. Peters keeps it going to the right with Hart. A quick answer Fitzgerald. The defence came up quickly.
I think he's been taken high. So 25 metres out. Will they have a shot at goal? It's Fitzgerald taken high by Trindle. Tricky's had this habit for a long time now of jumping up in tackles. He's got a lot of blokes high in his day.
Into suspension earlier this year. Suspension from memory as Cooper attacking the blind side. What about this play? That is poor with a capital P for St George Illawarra on tackle number 1.
Well, the trick shot down the short side sees Matt Cooper run into heavy defence from Talisle and Martini, and they just throw him over the sideline on the first play, and the heads went down from the Dragons.
Yeah,
2 possessions now.
It's a high-risk play, isn't it, that one, Gus? If it works, you're a genius. They probably score a try in the corner. When it doesn't, you just give away possession straight away.
Bulldogs win this scrum. Gives us a chance to go to Mark Coyne. What did you learn at half-time, Mark?
Yeah, thanks, Vossi. From the Dragons camp, Andrew Farrer's pretty happy with the effort. Thought that they've fought back quite well after that poor start. What he wants this half is better field position. He wants a lot more dummy half runs and, not surprisingly, a better kicking game. From Steve Folkes' side of things, he wants them to tighten up the middle of the ruck. He also wants some pretty good field position. Wants to play most of the game up the Dragons' end. He thought the first half was pretty patchy, and they want some more consistency in this half. And he reminded them if they win this game, they're only 1 game away from a grand final appearance. Also, no injuries to report from either side.
Matching the balance at 14-12 as Mason takes another charge. We're yet to see really proper pass. Didn't start tonight, came off the bench, and Asta's kick downfield. He's got Roberts chasing. His work again is excellent, Amos Roberts. He is a confidence player, and his confidence is riding high at the moment. Cooper tapped inside the 20. So the Dogs slip back into their pattern on that set of 6. Gaznia surrounded by the blue and white jumpers. And does well to get over the 20. With it is Riddell. Away from a lazy marker in Rahihi. 10 metres made there. Willie Peters for Colin Ward. Good ground for the Dragons. They're just short of halfway now. Still with a few tackles up their sleeve. Barrett says, let's go right. Not able to pass, and that is tackle number 5 for the Dragons. 45 away from the Bulldogs line, and Roberts is the man kicking. I don't know whether his outside man knew that was coming. Gaznia on the wing would have been a good 20 metres away from the ball when it came down.
Poorly directed kick there from Roberts. Willie Peters has got to take some control of those 5th tackle options if Trent Barrett is not in the play. And that one he just lined up El Masri and put it straight down his breadbasket.
And Mason. Brown gets on his side. Back to halfway. Trindle for Feeney running at Barrett. Trindle was knocked after passing. Straight back to his feet. Bulldogs are 40 metres from the Dragons line as Talau goes on a searching run out of dummy half. He's done some good things tonight, Willie Talau. Now 30 metres from the Dragons line on the last tackle. A nasty kicks to the wing of Cooper. And that's not the best of kicks either. So both teams shy of their best to start this second half.
I don't know how you feel, Bossy, but I think all the momentum is with the blue and whites at the moment. The Bulldogs, all the body language is with them. Quick into position, quick off their line, tackling hard, rounding up the ball player. The Dragons struggling to make ground. Everything is with the Bulldogs at the moment, except this penalty.
There was a little delay on that penalty being awarded as well. I thought he may have ruled knock on, and he got a little call from the touch judge, or he just looked for a little bit of advice there. If it's a strip, it's an innocent strip from Tricky Trindle. The sort of thing Darryl would do deliberately.
I've got 10. Wait with me, wait.
The Dragons penalty now outside their 30. Bailey. He got the pass and then sort of lined them up. Picked up speed as he got to the line. Had a little chat there with Darren Smith after the tackle as well. Ward, another hit up inside Bulldogs half. Peters right with Barrett, little jink. Now Hart crashing through the first line. Was sure when he beat. Barrett is looking dangerous, 25 metres out. Pass hasn't found the mark. That's Bailey who does very well to get to the loose ball. It was Bailey. That sort of desperation. A retained possession with Fitzgerald. 5th tackle. 25 metres out. Centre field. Riddell. Kick isn't the best, but he's regathered. Mark Riddell gets another one in. But the Dogs cover up.
Yeah, not a bad little play there from Mark Riddell, but it didn't come off in the end. And Trent Barrett is the one now for the Dragons. And we see Riddell, once again, last tackle option for them. Not the best I've seen in the world, but a bit lucky, got the ball back and then decided to put another one in for some support. Just a turnover to the Bulldogs. Trent Barrett's the man. He has really started to run the football. Didn't do much of that in the first half, was content to pass it, but now he's taken the line on and looks very dangerous. A lost ball there, and the Dragons have got it their way.
Second error for the half for Jamie Feeney. Both errors have come inside his own half, and this could hurt them bad. As Riddell is tackled, able to offload. Fitzgerald keeps it alive for McGregor. He does same for Roberts. 20 metres away from the line, and now Roberts does a little bit of dancing to the 10-metre line. He's kept it alive with Colin Ward. And Ward will now be held up. Peters, Barrett, little look to the right, then left with McGregor. McGregor gets into Blacklock, and Blacklock gets a 4-pointer. In fact, almost has gone over the dead ball line. They may just check this, they will, Fanny.
They will check this because Nathan Blacklock, as he was about to put the ball down, he slipped. His legs went out from under him. And I'm just wondering if his legs are over the dead ball line before he put the ball down. The touch judge said, mate, you better have a look at this, Paul, to the referee.
This would be absolutely tragic. Beautiful play there by the Dragons as Blacklock comes around and slips. No, he gets it down. He gets it down.
Sweet.
Oh-wee. Oh-wee.
And wasn't it some beautiful passing? And the experience, once again, of Paul McGregor. Barrett to McGregor, found Blacklock, storming down the outside. There's the green light. The Dragons back in front.
And Nathan Blacklock will breathe a sigh of relief. This is the turnover. No strip there. Andrew Hart will pick up the ball and race away. That set the red and whites in motion. Now, as they come down the short side, this right-hand defence, we'll see a second-man player come across to McGregor as we freeze it there. And as we can see here, McGregor has asked, as he normally does, El Masri to come in field. McGregor will continue on, turn El Masri inside out, then pop the ball on the outside to Blacklock behind his back. Blacklock races down, slips, get it down. Yeah, got there.
Yeah, it's the timing of the pass that made. He held it up, double pumped it. And by the time El Masri turned around, Blacklock was past him. Had he have passed it earlier, El Masri might have caught Blacklock, but wasn't to be. So on the back of a couple of Bulldogs mistakes, the Dragons hit the front. Riddell looking to add the extras from out wide.
Blacklock getting closer to 100 career tries. Mark Riddell got one from the sideline in the first half. This is his favoured side. A couple of metres in from touch and 20 metres out. Left arm is up. He's kicking towards the Dragons supporters. They will go up here. Look at this kick off the boot from Riddell. He could be a match winner here tonight. 51 gone. It's 18-14 to the Dragons. Bulldogs emerge winners by 2 points. Dragons looking to turn that around tonight. Interesting that happened in the AFL this week, Essendon and Richmond. Reverse their results, first weekend of the playoffs. Could happen here in the NRL. Jason Riles. He's taken front on by Stephen Price. Gasnier at dummy half. Bulldogs, when they have led at half-time in matches this year, unbeaten. Barrett kicks from 45 metres out from his own line.
It's very important if you can play against the Bulldogs to get to the front on the scoreboard at some stage, because it keeps the game moving. When the Bulldogs get to the front, they slow it down, they grind the play up, they close the play down. Whatever they're behind, they'll keep it open, and that could suit the Dragons tonight.
Darren Smith to the bench. Steve Reardon is back out there for the Dogs. Sixth interchange for the night. Willie Mason has gone now as well. In fact, Willie Mason has gone to the bench and then was called to go back out there. Dogs are in possession outside their 30. Passing there for Trindle. And Trindle almost through the tackle of Ward. On their 40-metre line, Patton. To the right with Anasta. Kicks from outside the 40. And this one will find the line inside the 20. That was only a fraction outside the 40. Anasta's been left behind here. No touch judge coming in. He's okay.
Yeah, another one of these beautiful banana kicks. Look at that, holds the ball on the side, kicks it on the outside of the foot. That ball will bend towards the sideline. No action.
No action there, but you might think the system might catch up with Jamie Fitzgerald in the next couple of days.
Peters passes there for Gasnier, then Barrett. Some quick hands with McGregor. 6 apiece interchange. Turnover. Bulldogs 20 metres out. Patton. There's a chance. So he turns it back inside. Vangana. I thought the chance was alive on the outside. It still may come the points. And Asta, here's a penalty. Suggesting there should be sin in here.
No, slow down. Yeah, and he was offside.
Barrett has rushed in.
He's knocked down.
Gasnier runs away from the scene of the crime pretty quickly. And the tap. In with Feeney. He is 5 metres away. That ball is spat out of the arms of Jamie Feeney. This time they've got a stripping penalty.
Well, they didn't rush in to have a shot at goal then, but surely they must now. Tight semi-final, not much in it. Gets him back to within 2 if he gets this. He must be a shandy off using the sin bin, the referee. Foul play all over the place. This is a stripping incident, only 2 metres out from the line. Patience must be wearing thin.
Yeah, it's a hard call, that, because I've got no doubt that Feeney felt he was halfway through the tackle and trying to get the ball in a position to pass himself. Dragons players had a hand on it. I really think he contributed that himself. But the Dragons really holding on here with a lead on the scoreboard, giving away penalties. I don't know that they'll be that unhappy to give away 2 points.
Nasri, who started tonight, 16 points away from Halligan's club record of 270 points. There's a try and 3 goals so far tonight. So just now 6. And he has been a great success story this year. He was their player of the year last season. He's backed it up this year, hasn't missed a game. Nabbed his 19th try tonight. He stepped into the shoes of Daryl Halligan. He has to get his side back within 2 in this 3rd qualifying final. Nasri from 19 metres out. He's been on target all night. And we have one heck of a game. 18-16 Dragons over the Bulldogs. Aaron Brett brings the ball back almost to the 20-metre line. And we'll repeat that equation. Dragons win tonight. The Roosters are eliminated from the finals. Sherwin works left with Hughes. First time I've seen Hughes in the match tonight. He was kept fresh from the first half. Reardon with the ball earlier tonight. The match at Marathon Stadium. A big win to Newcastle. 40 points to 6. Packed house up there. Johns kicked 7 goals, scored a try. Adam McDougall outstanding. A lot of the big guns really fired tonight for Newcastle. Reagan's with it. And Roberts sort of jumping up and down on the spot. Inside has got a penalty for inside the 10.
Yeah, Bulldogs getting up a little too quick there. Last 20 minutes, last 24 minutes of a semi-final is really Bulldog time. They'll up the tempo here, increase the intensity of the physical battle. They'll be up in their face. Dragons do very well to hold on here tonight.
And this attack starts 40 metres away from the Bulldogs line. And Ward is the man who carries them another 10. In good position. Barrett to a flat-footed Riles, who does well to bump away from Price. Did the same to Britt. 25 away. Bartram and Barrett run straight and then sideways for Roberts. This is where they look dangerous. Great hands by Blacklock. Close to the sideline. Blacklock taken over the sideline. It'll be a dog scrum.
Look, he's a very experienced winger these days, Nathan Blacklock. I can't believe he didn't go back inside. He tried to beat on the outside when that was impossible. It's one of their favourite plays, this long cutout play that they do. El Masri once again came in. There's nowhere to go. You've got to go back on the inside. Plenty of defence there. That was always going to happen.
Oh, go in second.
Yeah, 5 blue and white jumpers coming across. They read the play, go to the outside. You're right, Fatty. Blacklock had to get back in field, keep the ball for his team.
Don't Wayne in. Go in, stay in.
Takes the tackle there. There's a chance at the end of the set of 6, just getting it in goal. Another set. I don't think we've had a line drop out tonight. It hasn't really been a repeat set situation. The Bulldogs are with the ball, and Hughes is upended by Hart. And also Bartram, who's off to Castleford next year. Steve Price. Taken low by Barrett. Sherwin for Britt. Passes short of the line. On the bounce to Patton. Now he gets something going with Feeney. Running at Willie Peters. Feeney just happy to accept a tackle with the ball in his grasp. Trindle for Britt. Short of halfway and last tackle. Dragons standing firm in this set. Baxter kicks from outside the 40. This one is over the head of Roberts. Sits up well for the Dragons fullback. Hasn't put a foot wrong tonight, Amos Roberts. And as to the kicker, was the first man through. And this Dragon side, who at one stage in the first half led by 10. Their margin is 2 right now. Winless in the last fortnight coming into the finals. Beaten by the Roosters and by the Bulldogs. Bartram. Left with Tracy. That right thigh is now very heavily strapped. Back in field with Riles. Running at Reardon, who crept up a little high with a tackle. Sherwin also there. Inside the Dogs half, but again it is the end of the set. And Barrett's kick. Purposeful for that corner. 10 metres out. I said it earlier, in the balance, even more so now. Sides completing their sets, not getting any great advantage. 18 points to 16. Completion rates are identical. And on there, 20. Sherwin infield with Price. He just keeps on working, Steve Price. And 17 hit-ups and 22 tackles. He is top of both counts for the Dogs. Darren Britt held up this time. Short of the 40. This is the last tackle. Sherwin will kick from over the 40. Took a step over. Roberts has to chase here. Well, again, this will be another close call. Sherwin has taken a stride, I reckon, over the 40.
Well, the referee will probably check with the video referee to see here if he was, in fact, outside the 40. Oh, dear. He is inside the 40.
That's fine.
He is inside the 40. Even though his foot dragged on the 40-metre line as he kicked, the ball goes downfield. Must have got a call from his teammates, because Amos Roberts was very keen to pick this up. Got across there. Just couldn't drag it back in. A game of inches.
We had one in the first half from Trent Barrett, which was a centimetre inside the 40 and found touch a centimetre inside the 20. Sherwin's done almost the same. His kick was a little deeper, though.
If the Bulldogs can capitalise here, that'll just about be the play of the day, that one from Brent Sherwin. Andrew Hart's been a tough encounter, suffering from cramp. Nathan Brown there doing the honours.
Yeah, Fatty, this last 20 minutes will come down to 2 or 3 moments, and this is one of those moments. A 40-20 to the Bulldogs. Andrew Hart knows it. He's trying to get a little bit of juice back in the tank for his teammates. This is an important set of 6 for both teams in the context of this game. Advantage Bulldogs. Can the Dragons respond with a set of 6 in defence?
Cooper is on the sideline as the Dogs attack, and hasn't Sherwin had an impact tonight? And Astor almost through the McGregor tackle. Only 5 metres from the line. They trail by 2. Trindle. Not a good pass. The Bulldogs, they put it down, and it was Sherwin, but it was a terrible ball from Tricky Trindle. No tricks about that. McGregor with it for the Dragons.
And in back play, Amos Roberts in a mile of trouble there for the Dragons. Long range pass, just couldn't grab it. Roberts down on the ground, seeking attention.
Bartram and Barrett. Riles gets that hit, a steamer. Young Riles. Another charge. 45 from the Bulldogs line. He is such a talent. Barrett, heavy combat there. Roberts is being assisted from the field in back play. The Dragons on the last tackle with Peters keeping it alive, the little kick, and the Bulldogs will come up with the ball with Patton on the fingertips. He keeps it under control in the Blacklock tackle, but there's problems at the back for the Dragons. In fact, there's no fullback at home right now.
Yeah, Nathan Brown's had to run over to Nathan Blacklock and say, hey, Nathan, get back there. Roberts is off. You've got to play fullback.
That is Amos Roberts to the bench. The signs are there. He won't be back. Britt, 45 metres out, offloads for El Masri. El Masri keeps it alive for Anasta. Loses his balance as he's tackled by McGregor. 40 metres away. Still trailing by 2. El Masri and Trindle. And there for Hughes, and up comes Fitzgerald with a bell ringer. 40 metres away from the line. Trindle will put the little kick, utilising the chip. It bounces up for Blacklock. Here could be trouble if he gets away. El Masri makes the tackle.
Oh, what about the take here by Nathan Blacklock with people bearing down on him? Luke Patton getting at the other end of the field, and Nathan Blacklock under enormous pressure comes up with a one-handed grab. This Dragons team holding on, play going from end to end, intense action.
I was thinking Blacklock. I was thinking back to the 99 grand final against Melbourne where he took a ball on the fly, ran 60 metres to score. We'll get a report in a moment from Mark Coyne on Amos Roberts. Dragons 39 metres from the line with Peters, tackle number 5, the left foot bomb from Willie Peters. It'll come down for Martini. He decides to leave it to Cooper, and then McGregor puts it down, and the Bulldogs. Martini's lost it.
Back.
It's play on for the Dogs. Oh boy, 18-16.
Yeah, heart in the mouth stuff for both sides there. Cooper got high up above the pack, got it inside to McGregor. It was a chance. Cooper gets up very, very high. Just needs a good pass here to McGregor. Slightly behind. One-handed grab, knocks it on. Was picked up by Martini, who's now attended by Blacklock. And Blacklock will strip the ball from Martini one-on-one. There was a chance back there for the Dragons.
The crowd is into it. They're on the edge of their seats. I don't know whether to clap or cry at times. Some of the play from both teams, they're taking their supporters right to the edge. Trindle down the blind side. Here's another one of those close plays. Well, he's called a knock guys. Now he says play on. I thought I heard a whistle, a phantom whistle. And now El Masri's with the ball. All the players stop. It's the last tackle for the Bulldogs. Sherwood gets the little kick through. Covered up there by Bartram. Bartram then unloads for Cooper. And Cooper does a nice step. And then a straight, almost to halfway. Still the Dragons in front by 2. And only the one try in the second half. That was to Nathan Blacklock, and even that we had to go to the video referee. Barrett inside with Tracy. Skipped through one tackle. Interchange now. 4 apiece left for both teams, and in fact the Dragons, as I speak, making their 9th change with Bailey back out there for Colin Ward. Dummy half Riddell. Another one of those probing runs. He went through the turnstile of Stephen Price's arm. Last tackle, Barrett, 15 metres out, runs right to the line. Miraculous pass from Trent Barrett. That is a miraculous pass.
Ah, how good is that? One of the greatest passes you'll ever see from a super-duper player in Trent Barrett. The class shines out here. It's the last tackle. Barrett decides to run it. He knows he's got support. They drop off him. Look at that. It's a backhander. Out to Cooper. Barrett's arms goes up. Beautiful stuff by the Dragons.
I've said before, he's got the biggest hands in the world, this boy. Look at that right-handed flick over the top of 2 players. Cooper says, what about that? Right-handed flick through. He's a left-handed player. But gets the ball in the right hand, throws it past McGregor and Martini. And Cooper, at the last moment, sees it coming, leaps, picks it up, puts it down, and says, a great player has just given me a try in a semi-final.
Just on that shot, it even fooled McGregor because he thought he was going to get it. It went over his head. He said, where has that gone? And it went straight into the hands of Cooper. He just got on the outside of Anasta. Anasta gave his opposite just a fraction too much room to move in. He doesn't need a great deal, Barrett. And look at him rejoicing there.
And it just gets better, Gus, with every look, every replay of that pass.
Keep showing it. Keep showing it. That's an incredible bit of football by a young champion, Trent Barrett. It fooled everyone. It nearly fooled Cooper. He only saw it at the last moment. It came between two players. He threaded the needle. One hand, right hand, from a left-handed player. Incredible play by this young man.
And Cooper has 2 tries tonight, both delivered off passes by Trent Barrett. He's been served them on a platter. Bartram takes the kick. The clock was stopped for much of his lining this one up.
And what a kick this is.
Bartram from wide out, across the face. The game is still very much alive with 13 remaining, 22-16. And the Dragons lead by 6. They have scored 4 tries to 2. Bailey charges back. What a spur for his team to have him fit again, close to the playoffs when he'd been written off for the season. The only person who didn't write Luke Bailey off was the man himself. He kept training the house down. He was injured in round 4.
My word, I'll tell you who's played well the last 15-20 minutes is Jason Riles. He's only a youngster in the big time for the first time, and he's doing a great job out there, the big prop.
Both these teams missed the finals last year. They find themselves head-to-head here. Charge down from Reardon, and the tackle count restarts. They're just about the best in the business on the charge down, the doggies. Now Smith was hurt in that tackle, clutching at his sternum. Dragons with it, 45 away. Bartram passes up at the line, and here's another penalty coming for a high shot from Talau.
Walk away, Wayne, we've got it. Willie.
Yeah, short passing right on the advantage line. Let's listen to the referee.
No, you've swung it out, okay? It's still connected him. It's going on report. It's high.
And with this kick, I mean, they could have a shot at goalie to put them 8 in front. Just over 11 minutes to go. They've got 2 kickers out there in Wayne Bartram and Mark Riddell. David Boyle there, one of the great players from South Sydney of yesteryear through the 80s. One of the toughest players I've played against. He's barking instructions. Well, they're going to try and wrap it up with a try.
Well, against Brisbane a few weeks back, they took the shot at goal a long way out from full time. It ended up being the difference, Gus. It was an interesting decision there.
Incredible decision. 6 points into 8 is a big difference with only 10 minutes left on the clock. They're putting all their eggs in this one basket. Another important moment in the dying stages.
Riddell on that day against the Broncos kicked it from 40 metres out. Peters passes there to Blacklock. Blacklock is 10 metres away from the line. He is still going, Blacklock. Then passes back inside. Fitzgerald, a little juggle. And the Dragons 12 away from the line. The margin is 6 points. Playing for their premiership lives as Barrett passes. The Dragons, chance on the right. Batted on from Bartram. And McGregor is caught by Talau.
How did they not score there?
Riddell, a dummy half. Barrett, the little kick to in goal. Smith is back there. He missed it at first attempt. It's over the dead ball line, and it is a line dropout.
Yeah, they got a good result. I still feel as though they should have gone for that goal and could be leading 24-16. Some of these players are really playing well. Fitzgerald's having a big game. Tap on the head. It's a falcon to McGregor, and he's regathered it.
It was a dusty old palm off by Smith as the Dragons attack quickly. We'll go to Mark Coyne on the sideline.
Yeah, that message for to go for the try. They did come from the bench here. Andrew Pratt sent the instructions down. And just some news on Amos Roberts. He has hurt his ankle ligaments. The doctor said it's not too bad, but he won't be back on tonight.
Is it field goal time, Fatty? Too early?
I wouldn't say it's too early. They can snap one now. I mean, psychologically, great advantage to the Dragons.
Good tackle there, Sherwin on Fitzgerald, the 2-17s. Barrett passes back inside for Blacklock, slows the play up for Bailey. I don't think Luke appreciated the pass. Reardon cleans him up. 20 metres out from the line. Looking to see who may go into position for the field goal. McGregor slides into that tackle.
Well, Barrett's in just behind the play the ball now, and so is Willie Peters. He'll have a shot.
It's Willie Peters, the left foot of little Willie Peters, back in first grade tonight. He has kicked a point that could get them through to week 2 of the finals. Only one first grade game in 10 weeks, and here is a vital point.
Positioned himself beautifully. It looked like pretty poor play from the Dragons. They weren't working the ball very well at all, but they waited. Peters looked at the scoreboard, looked at the clock and said, now's the time. and the late replacement for the Dragons has taken a big blow in the final 8.5 minutes of this game. His team is now 7 in front.
Yeah, not home yet. There's still plenty of time. What they need to do now is have a decent set of 6. No mistakes. Short kick-off by the Bulldogs.
It's going to travel the 10, only just. Bulldogs will come up with the ball their side of halfway. That's a pretty good trick from a kick-off.
Yeah, it was tapped back by Stephen Price, something would have practiced plenty of times at training. In a semi-final, they've pulled one off. Now they've got the ball, only 45 metres out through Britt.
Margin is 7. Britt tackled 40 metres from the line. If the Dragons win here, the Roosters' season is all over. Sherwin with the ball. Then his runner there, Hughes, was taken out, but Sherwin kept possession. And the Dogs are 31 metres away. They get a penalty with 7.5 remaining right in front. They take the tap. Hughes for Price. Price gets a little angle going, and Bartram's got him 21 metres out. Bartram, interesting little drop of the right arm there. Now Mason. Hasn't been much work for Willie Mason in the second half. Is Hughes back in field with Britt. He's only 10 metres from the line. Lovely ball to Glenn Hughes, and Hughes stretches out. Well, it's not a double move, but his hand didn't hit the ground. He was suspended almost above the air. It was a frozen moment. It's 23 to 20. There's 7 remaining.
And big Darren Britt has put on a ball here for Hughes. Darren Britt saunters up to the line. Saunders, as we freeze it there, he just drags in 1, 2, 3 players. This player doesn't come in on Hughes, who will come here, plant the ball down over the line as play continues. Beautiful short pass. Right foot step. He's down. Lunge. Have I got time, ref? Look, ref. On the line. Try.
Yeah, it took a long time to get there, but the St George Illawarra defence just did not read this from Britt. Fitzgerald just on the outside, left a little bit of a hole. Riles went in. Took him 1,000 hours to get there, but he got there eventually. Kick converted.
5 from 5 to Hazem El Masri. Glenn Hughes the try, 23 to 22. What a game this is. 3rd qualifying final. Glenn Hughes, one of those bench players. They've been so good all season. Hughes gets a 4-pointer here. There is 6.5 minutes remaining. Mark Coyne, a former St George Illawarra Dragons captain. How's your heart going tonight?
Yeah, it's going pretty quick at the moment, Bossy, but one thing that the Dragons talked about all week was the fact that Darren Britt is very clever, great hands. That to watch him tonight, they just bolted there, their concentration. Great pass to Glenn Hughes to get the ball over.
Well, here we go. 6 minutes. 15 seconds remaining. Britt from the restart of play. The crowd, a great scene tonight. The blue and the white, the red and the white. Almost 18,000 here. They're loving this. Vangana. It is not sudden death for the Bulldogs. They are alive next week, even if they lose tonight. Passes away from Mason. Gets straight through one. Mason on the charge. It was like ball. He ran past. They're inside their 40, but not for long, the Bulldogs. And Asta. They're coming home. The Bulldogs, and Asta goes cross-country. Now straightens up and caught from behind. 2 minute change is still left. So the coaches have played that card well, and Asta was hurt there. He's hurt for the Bulldogs. They're 40 metres away from the Dragons' line. Ball has been stripped. Simpkins will look for some advice from his touch judges. It's play on for St George Illawarra.
He tried to pass that, there's no doubt about it. Good call there from Simpkins, and a nice hustle from Jason Riles to get the ball back for his team.
Cooper for Lightball. Straight hit-ups. Hughes over the top. And Astra is still troubled for the Bulldogs here. Barrett passes for McGregor. McGregor comes back in field. Trying to bounce away. That is an Astor on screen. He looks to have recovered, but he's defending out the centres. Peters is coming into his own as he runs against a tiring defence. 5th tackle, 18 metres from the line. Barrett, heady kicks, a ricochet off the back there of Glenn Hughes. There'll be no restart of the count here. And Lightball is caught, and that's a changeover. Great work, Bulldogs.
And the Bulldogs are very good when they get a great result in defence. That's a great result. A charge down with a little grubber kick. They got the ball in good position. They're very good off the back of great gets in defence.
4.5 minutes remaining.
I'll tell you what I'm tipping. I'm tipping a 23-all finish. And we head to that. They got the new rule in now. What is it? The a golden point or something.
Golden point it is. They'll toss the coin. If we do get level, that will determine who kicks off. And then it'll just be play on till someone scores. Sherwin passes for Hughes. And no interchange either if you've used your 12 when you do go to the extra time. Sherwin running out of dummy half. And Sherwin makes good meters. He had a man there on his outside. This is the 5th tackle. They're 30 metres away. And running with the ball is Hughes. He gets a pass away for Talau. And that's a changeover this time for the Bulldogs, 10 metres out.
All these players are just about out on their feet, especially the Dragons. I can see 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, hands on hips, trying to draw some breath from somewhere. The reserves of energy just about used up. This is great stuff. This is what semi-finals and finals football is all about.
Well, they've got to get a kick away, Fatty, and the Bulldogs are the best charge-down team in the league. They've got to get this kick option right. Trent Barrett or Willie Peters has got to get it away down the other end of the field.
Straightforward plays here by the Dragons. A lot of dummy half running, almost back to halfway with Blacklock. Now Peters away for Bailey. Tentative start tonight for Willie Peters. He's done his best work in the second half, including a field goal. Barrett is going to drive this one for the line. That's the cool head from Trent Barrett. He doesn't find the line, but he's got them in the corner. Patton runs away from the 10-metre line, and Riddell makes the tackle. 15 out from their line. We're inside the final 3 now. Dragons playing for their lives. El Masri's with the ball. He's going backwards. Now he straightens. He gives us a little point as if to say, I'm going this way. Now offloads. Bulldogs, Anasta. And Anasta is dunked in the tackle of half. Tremendous finals football. Bulldogs with Darren Britt over the 30. 1 point the difference. Sherwin there for Reardon. And Hart makes the tackle. And think of those Dragons playing their last match in the NRL tonight if the side lose. McGregor and Bartram and Ward as Mason is with it for the Bulldogs. Right on halfway, 5th tackle. Patton's a dummy half, and Asta's the left side of the ruck. Needs a result on this kick. Gets the chip over the top, and they're back for it. It's Tracy playing wounded tonight.
Yeah, and that's the fastest Darren Tracy's run all night. He's had a pretty fair game. Right leg heavily strapped, and he got to that one beautifully. Just slowing things down now. They want to try and put the ball through the hands as much as they can, use up time.
Final 90 seconds. Dragons will look to get to the end of this set and probably get it straight over the sideline, soak up a little more time.
Minute 26 left on the clock. They're probably going to have about a minute 10, a minute 15, the Bulldogs, to pull off a win here.
Andrew Hart with the ball, 45 metres away from the Bulldogs line. And Barrett with it, kicks. There was a charge down. It wasn't intentional from Vangana. Bulldogs come up with the ball with Hughes. Well, that wasn't a deliberate charge down from the Dogs. They kicked it straight into Nigel Vangana. Sherwin's with it. Give it everything, the Bulldogs, with Braith and Asta. And Asta is through. He'll be tackled 32 metres from the line. McGregor makes the tackle. He's set back to the right. Rahihi goes for the charge to the 20-metre line. Keep an eye on that clock. 45 seconds remaining. 1 point the difference. Sherwin, he's 10 from the line. Mason does the hurdle. Then Patton. Then Rahihi. He's 5 from the line. Dragons defending their own goal line. Mason goes for a charge. He's right on the goal line. Last tackle. Do you want the draw? Do you want extra time? They're going to go for it. Sherwin doesn't get the kick in. 10 metres out. Gets it over the top. With it is Hughes. Now El Masri doesn't get a good bounce. The ball is there for the Dragons. That will be the ball game. Gazdia back with it. And away goes Gazdia. Ankle tap by Luke Patton. There was some cheering from the crowd that El Masri had been tackled without the ball.
What a finish. What a finish.
Time.
It's full time. The Dragons have won.
The Dragons live to week 2 of the finals, and the Roosters make their exit. A Willie Peters field goal is the difference here. What a win. Beaten by the Bulldogs last Friday week. They bounce back 8 days later on the Bulldogs' home ground, and for the second time this year, they will walk away from this ground a winner. Third qualifying final. St George Illawarra scoring 4 tries to 3. and winning by 23 to 22. You want to live this again. Dragon supporters, Sherwin had a chance. He was forced back in field. Tracy was the man who put pressure on him. Then there is a man in traffic, and the opportunity is out wide. Hughes gets the ball. Only one-on-one outside there. And El Masri with Willie Peters coming across. If it goes to hand, El Masri just about scores in the corner. What a finish, Gus.
And that man, Trent Barrett, during the week, all the anguish as to whether or not he would be able to play. His inclusion has given the Dragons a boost. His contribution tonight has given them a couple of tries. The Dragons live and breathe. The Bulldogs, they can regret a number of moments in that game, but when a game goes down to the wire like that, it just comes down to heart and guts and courage. And without that man, I don't think the Dragons could have done it.
And I tell you another thing that comes into the equation now, if the Warriors can beat Parramatta tomorrow, it's ta-da Brisbane. So Brisbane will be cheering Parramatta tomorrow afternoon. Great game here, a win to the Dragons by 1 point, 23 to 22. We will break at the Showground, we will come back, Fanny will wrap things up, and Mark Coyne will have our Tui's new man of the match.
Victory by them here in the semi-final at the Showground. But earlier tonight, Newcastle ran out 40 points to 6 winners over the Sydney Roosters. As a consequence of that victory by the Dragons, the Roosters now gone for season 2001. 23 to 22. Here's the try scoring list. Cooper 2, Robertson, Blacklock tries. Riddell, great night with the boot, 3 from 3. And Willie Peters, the all-important match-winning field goal by the little bloke. Well done. El Masri and Nasta Hughes tries for the Bulldogs. El Masri 5 from 5, a great night with the boot. Our man of the match is now with Mark Coyne.
Thanks, Paul. Our $2,000 Tui's man of the match tonight, Dragons captain Trent Barrett.
Thanks, Courtney.
Trent, it's been a pretty traumatic week for you tonight. During the week, obviously, tonight it was good to finish it off, I suppose, with a great gutsy win like that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was a pretty dusty week for me, and I didn't know whether I was going to be playing or not. Probably didn't start thinking about footy till 2 days ago, so it's a great win, and you know that's what it's all about, I suppose. It's one of the hardest games I've played in. You know, 2 to go before the big one, and you know I believe we can do it.
And the forwards tonight really stood up to the Bulldogs. Forwards allowed a great platform for you and Willie Peters to run amok there.
Yeah, they did. You know, I probably haven't been too happy with my games the last couple of weeks and forcing a few errors, but tonight was good. I thought Willie went well. A good field goal he kicked, but I've got to practice a few of my kicks at the end. They were a bit rusty.
Mate, it's pretty important winning that first game in the semi-final series. You know what it's like in 99. You got that roll on, mate. Similar feeling this year?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've got a much younger side, Pointy, where they lost a lot of experience, but, you know, it's great for the young fellas first time here to experience it, and we won't get too much of a harder game than that, you know, and we just proved to ourselves that we can do it.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah, Trent Barrett had a very tough week, didn't he? But he came through it very well. He set up a couple of tries tonight. His kicking game was good. He defended well. And look, he's just an out-and-out great player. Plenty of things happening on Channel 9 over the next couple of days sports-wise. The Goodwill games continue from Brisbane. Highlights of Day 11 tonight from 11:30 p.m. and live coverage tomorrow from 2 p.m. And, of course, the US Open tennis from Flushing Meadows. The men's semi-finals happening live at 2 a.m. If you want to get up and watch them, they'll be good. And the women's final, the Williams sisters take each other on. That's live tomorrow from 10 a.m. Followed, of course, by the Sunday footy show at 12 o'clock. Guests include Darren Britt, Paul Mellor, Rod Reddy and Michael Vella. And then later that afternoon out to Parramatta Stadium where the Eels are at home to the New Zealand Warriors. That's at 4 p.m. And, of course, on Monday night, the Dalian Awards as presented by the Footy Show direct from Star City. Special guests include Grant Hackett, Steve Irwin, Mark Waugh. That's from 9:30 p.m. Should be a great night to reward all the great players from this season. Well, it's just been fantastic to be here at the Showground tonight. We've all enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Channel 9's Rugby League.